I'm ready to go for NFT stuff, man. Are they going nuts about it? How much energy does traditional finance use versus Bitcoin? To mine gold, they're using 475 megawatts of power. Gold recycling, 40 billion. Paper currency and minting, 28 billion. The banking system, 1,870 billion. Governments, 27,600 billion. Bitcoin mining, 4.5 billion. Hello? Like, I'm not trying to be mean at all. Like, I'm not. They just don't know what they're talking about. Cody, what were you talking about that you wish you were off work so we can talk about something? What were you talking about earlier when you said, what did you say? And then you said something about casting couch, but hold on. LOL, I wish I was home and you were not streaming so we can discuss and be all fired up together. Discuss and be all fired up together what? What did I miss there? NFT stuff. Wait, why can't we talk about it here? Like now? Oh, CRK announced an NFTs. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. I mean, I'm definitely pumped. You know me, dude. I'm ready to go for NFT stuff, man.
Hell yeah.
And the community going nuts about it? Are they going nuts about it? Oh, bad. Poorly, you're saying. Okay, I see. Oh, yeah, let me check DMs. Use to steal artwork from others? How? Not a true way of owning artwork? How? A passing fad? How? Like, they just don't understand NFTs at all. They just don't understand the new technology. So let me explain NFTs. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. So if you go out and buy a car, you get a car title. What is that car title for? It's to prove that you own the car. If you go out and buy a house, you get a deed to the house. What does that deed prove? It proves you own the house. If you go out and buy a high-end piece of artwork, you typically get a certificate of authenticity. What is that? It's just proof that you own the original copy of that piece of artwork. If you go out and buy an expensive collectible item, like an expensive comic book or an expensive sports card, you normally get a certificate of authentication as well as like a grade certificate that proves that it's the quality and it is what it says that it is. It's just proof of something, proof of ownership. Proof that what you have is what you say it is. Proof that it's the real thing and not the fake thing. That's all that NFTs are. So when you get an NFT, it's proof that you own that piece of artwork, that you bought and paid for that piece of artwork. But it doesn't just have to be artwork in the sense of like a painting or something. It can be artwork in the sense of a song. Like Imagine Dragons could decide to release their next album as an NFT, which would let them completely bypass all of the middlemen that take all of their fees for no reason other than that they're in the middlemen, and it allows them to sell their art directly to the consumer and allow them to make and keep all of the money for their artwork that they created. And for the person that bought it, it's just proof that you now own that piece of thing. It's proof that you own that. And so that's literally all NFTs are. Codation says it means more money going to the artist. Exactly. You're cutting out the middleman so the artist can actually make more money. You don't have all these record producers and record labels taking money from the artist. You're able. Now, is that happening today? No, it's not happening today. You're not seeing all these famous, but will that be the future? Absolutely. And again, it's all about efficiency. If we free up the amount of people that have to be middlemen in an industry, that then allows us to have those people do other things to further humanity than just being a middleman sucking up pieces of the pie, which is honestly what middlemen mostly do. Like, I'm not trying to be mean at all. Like, I'm not. But I'm just being blunt because it's just the truth. Like, they just don't know what they're talking about. Like, for example, if we look at how much renewable energy is used for crypto. So here's the thing. So the way that Bitcoin mining works, okay? So the way that mining works is it's a power-intensive process that updates the ledger of Bitcoin transactions. And this is true for any blockchain, you know, because they're doing some type of thing that there needs to be computational work done. So here's the thing about it, okay? So in a 2020 report by the University of Cambridge, researchers found that 76% of crypto miners rely on some degree of renewable energy to power their operations. There's still room for improvement, though, as renewables account for just 40% of crypto miners' total energy consumption. So 40% of crypto miners' total energy comes from renewable energy. That's not that high, admittedly, but that's higher than almost any other sector in the world in anything else. If you look at the automotive industry, they do not have 40% renewable energy. If you look at the current financial system, Wall Street, all the trades that happen, stock trades and everything, and all the computational power that has, 40% of it does not come from renewable energies. They end up going to a lot of places where all the energy isn't being used. So let's say over in Timbuktu, they're producing electricity for their residents. They're producing, I'm just making up numbers here. I don't even know if these are actual terms. 1,000 terawatts of electricity per day. But their people are only using 200 terawatts of power a day. So what happens to that other 800 terawatts of power? Nothing. It's wasted. If it's not used, it's gone. We don't have the batteries or the battery capacity or just the amount of batteries we would need to store that power currently. That just doesn't exist. So the power just simply gets wasted. Literally, it just gets wasted. It doesn't go, it's not like it's magic and it's saved. So a lot of these crypto miners go to areas where they're in these kind of, area where a lot of because that electricity is sold super cheap because they want to get rid of it. They don't want it to go to waste. They produced it. Why let it go to waste? They'd rather sell it super cheap. So a lot of these mining companies are situated in places like this. Hold on, let me look at your DMs and some of the other stuff they say. So a pyramid scheme. How's it a pyramid scheme? If you don't got to buy the NFT. You don't got to be a part of it. If you like the artwork, you buy it. With the new chains like Polygon and stuff coming out, Matic, Tron's not new, but that allow NFTs, they don't use the same proof of work stake that Bitcoin or Ethereum currently uses. So they don't use anywhere near the amount of electricity that those two use. But those two, you want them to be super secure. So of course they're going to be the ones that use the most energy. But just because you're in the NFT space does not mean that you have to use a blockchain that uses a ton of energy. It just might not be as secure. But if it's, for simple stuff like in-game stuff that then the player could move to the Ethereum blockchain later on their own or something. But just like, CryptoKitties, I do everything on the Tron network. Let's see, Tron electricity usage versus Bitcoin electricity usage. Tron is the most energy efficient. Just on his pitch Tron to Elon Musk as being the most energy efficient network for blockchain and crypto transaction. Mr. Sun has pointed out that Tron uses less than 1% of Bitcoin's energy consumption. Tron settles over $10 billion daily, and USDT on Tron is very liquid with a market cap of over $30 billion. So it uses less than 1% of the energy Bitcoin uses. They could use Tron. You're hardly using any energy to do the NFTs. Over time, the network is going to become more efficient because, that's how you make money, man. You got to be energy efficient to make money. If you're spending more on your energy than what you're going to make from the network and transaction fees or whatever, it just doesn't make sense. There's no way for them to increase how much they're making from the Bitcoin network. They only are going to get the same amount of Bitcoin every single time they do a block. So the only way for them to increase profits is to become more energy efficient. $10 billion settled for less than 1% of Bitcoin's energy. Okay, how much energy does traditional finance use versus Bitcoin? Energy consumption, Bitcoin mining versus financial banking. The boomer switch from BTC is used for legal purposes to BTC takes away too much energy or takes too much energy to mine. It's a global disaster. What these boomers forget to mention is, probably an argument at all, how does it reflect to the current system? BTC mining energy. There aren't hard numbers that say how much energy BTC consumes. I have a feeling a lot of FUD is being spread. Dig Economist shows that the BC network captures 77.78 terawatts an hour of power, while CBECI indicates the network is 111 terawatts per hour. So here's the yearly cost. So the yearly cost to mine gold, they're using 475 megawatts of power. Gold recycling, 40 billion. Paper currency and minting, 28 billion. The banking system, 1,870 billion. Governments, 27,600 billion. Bitcoin mining, 4.5 billion. 4.5 billion.
Boom.
Hello? I'm sorry, hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
This would mean that BTC uses 1/4 the energy in comparison to the current financial system. And then, of course, the argument is, well, what happens when everybody's using BTC? Well, number one, maybe it equals that, or maybe it's even a little bit higher. But again, you're talking about, let's say it takes 10 years for adoption to happen. I guarantee you in another 10 years, most of the bigger countries like the United States, like China, like Europe, like the first world countries, they're going to be operating on almost entirely renewable energy. And at that point, what the does it matter how much energy it uses? We have pretty much unlimited solar as long as we build enough solar things until the sun burns out, which at that point we have a lot bigger problems than energy usage. So the argument that they're bad for the environment is actually true if your agreement is anything that uses electricity is bad for the environment, which it is to some extent. If you're using any kind of electricity and it's not 100% renewable energy, then it's causing some harm to the environment. Even if it's renewable energy, like solar panels or windmills, they still take up space. They still take away space from housing. They still take away space from farming, take away space of forests and stuff that animals live in. So even with renewable energies, we're still doing some harm to the environment. So the argument that it does harm to the environment is true, but so do cars. So does producing clothing for humans. So does producing real world artwork. So does producing automobiles. So does producing houses. All of that stuff causes environmental harm. So the argument that it causes environmental harm is just naive and it's just ignorance. You don't actually understand what you're talking about because everything causes harm to the environment that we do. So our job as humans is to negate how much damage we're actually doing to the environment. And so the way we do that is by constantly making the things that we use more efficient. Like we would say, renewable energy is more efficient. It does less harm to the environment than traditional energy sources. It doesn't mean that it does zero harm to the environment, but it does less harm. NFTs, the blockchains, do they harm to the environment? Yes. But currently, blockchain uses a fourth, so 25% of the energy that our traditional finance system uses. On top of that, a blockchain like Tron that NFTs live on, because NFTs don't live on the blockchain of Bitcoin, they live on different blockchains. So NFTs that live on the blockchain Tron, for example, so Bitcoin uses 25% of the energy that our current financial system uses. And then Tron uses less than 1% of the energy that Bitcoin uses. And so Ethereum, they are the most popular NFT blockchain currently. And currently they do use a lot of electricity. But because of the explosive growth of the Ethereum network, they've already taken that, even before all of this NFTs are bad for the environment came out, they already have released a plan to move from a proof of work system, which uses a lot of electricity, because proof of work requires computers to do complex, very complex mathematical equations and to solve those mathematical equations. And that's how they keep the network secure. So what Ethereum is doing is they are moving to a proof of stake network, which actually they already start rolling out Ethereum 2.0 at the start of 2022, so less than 2 months, which will dramatically cut the amount of energy that even the Ethereum network uses, which again, we are already just if we don't do anything, we're already using less energy in the crypto space than we do in the traditional finance market. So hopefully that explains it for you. Hopefully that explains, how it works. And hopefully that explains why a lot of these people that just say it's quote unquote bad for the environment are actually ignorant, naive people that just don't know what they're talking about. Again, I'm happy to answer any other additional questions or I'm willing to listen to anybody else's opinions that might be in here that have a counter to that say, yeah, but think about it this way, or happy to listen to any of that, man. All right, I love your faces. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day. See you guys. Peace out. Later, nerds.